Here.
Trustee Babel.
Here.
Trustee Natz.
Here.
Trustee Richley.
Here.
Clerk Matei here.
Almost here.
Okay, Supervisor Westrick and Trustee Blackstock absent. Let's have the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, and we need a motion to approve the minutes if there are no changes. And we did change those last minutes.
Okay.
Also, to reflect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Real quick, under MB4, was Vern candidate number 5, or was it
Yes.
number 4? I don't remember now.
I think he was number 5.
I don't know, all my notes are in little bitty shredded pieces, so I couldn't tell you what it
I don't
was.
have it with me.
I got my old packet.
You do?
No, you
Good.
haven't dropped yours to the
Okay.
shredder yet, huh?
Yes. Maybe. Maybe. I may be lying. Oh, wrong envelope. No, he was candidate number 4.
Okay, all right. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Presentations, guest speakers, you're up. Hi,
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Hello.
I believe you had to have the quarterly stats in front of you.
We do.
I looked through them as well as you'd have, and I didn't see anything like any anomalies out of there. They seem to be pretty consistent with every other month. Just notably, the first quarter stats are 164 total calls for service in East China. Last time I was here, we had a discussion about a time change for the deputies. And they were working that 10 to 10 shift, and the discussion was to switch it from like an 8 to 8 shift to help out with school and traffic like that. And we made that change rather quickly. I think it was in like the week after the meeting, we switched the deputies' time schedule, so they've been starting at 8 a.m., and they'll continue to do so through the school year. Once school year is done, we'll kind of reassess and see if you need a little more nighttime coverage, and then we'll discuss it and see if we want to switch the hours back. But as of right now, they're doing it 8 to 8, so they're available between those times, just the township car loan is, so.
Very good.
Okay. Any questions for me?
Not for me, thank you.
Is there anything unusual in these numbers?
No, I don't believe so.
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening.
Good night. Okay. No public comment. Consent agenda. We have the Park Commission meeting minutes of February, March 2022 building permits, and Cemetery Advisory Committee meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have disbursements, invoices in the amount of $39,076.71. Payroll in the amount of $53,378.77. Accounts payable, $186,281.95. EFT checks in the amount of $20,385.38. E-checks of $302.30, and tax account checks, $106.36, for a total of $299,531.47. Can we have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll motion to pay the bills in the total amount of $299,531.47. I support.
Roll call, Treasurer Hart,
Yes.
Trustee Babel,
Yes.
Trustee Natz?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Thank you. Okay, new business. We have board appointments to the Sinclair Area Fire Authority and the Marine City Area Fire Authority. In the past, our township supervisor was appointed to both boards. Is there anyone here that would like to be appointed? in lieu of the supervisor? Any interest there, or should we go ahead and appoint?
If he doesn't want to do it, then I would consider it, but if he wants to do it, then
Okay,
I would think that would be his thing.
first
Yeah.
option, okay. So I'll make a motion to appoint the supervisor, Vern Westrick, to the Sinclair and Marine City Area Fire Boards.
Support.
And if something changes, we'll let Mr. Richley know. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, SEMCOG delegate.
There you go.
Delegates and
Should do this
alternates
one.
are expected
This
to
is
attend the
fun.
General Assembly meetings each year that are held in March, June, and October. Previous delegate was the township supervisor. The appointed alternate is the township manager. Board must appoint a new delegate.
Sounds good to me.
Appoint Mr. Westrick.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not here, you get appointed.
There you go. So who wants to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we appoint the township supervisor as the delegate to SEMCOG with an alternate being the township manager.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
They're gonna be so surprised.
Oh, yeah.
They won't miss another
He's
meeting.
gonna have a whole list. Okay, we have next our cost share agreements with the road commission. Now, in the past, which is why these are already signed, these were
Yeah.
in the office, and in the past, we didn't send these to the board. It was considered like general maintenance of the township through the road commission.
Right.
They have to have these agreements just to perform the work like a work order. So I went ahead and signed them, and then the manager said, well, those should go to the township board for approval. So here they are. They are signed, but
Don't we have, maybe I missed a meeting, don't they have like earlier in the year where they come around and they go around with a driver and
they
pick
used
out,
to.
We did
they
that
pick out what they
online.
want?
They used to. Before COVID,
'Cause
Yeah,
they
know I went
always
over.
did.
What I'm getting at is, if we did something like that, doesn't that constitute approval? We decide, okay, we agree that you should do this, this, and this, and then they put it in writing.
Right, but I don't believe they've done that since the last 2 years, I want to say, since
Yeah, they
COVID.
have.
They kind of
Okay,
stopped.
well, the other thing I would have is, there is a certain amount of match money available from the county.
Right.
Did we get it all?
That I can't answer if we
Yeah,
got it
I-
all.
My object is always to get all the free money we can get our hands on.
Right, well, let's double check that after the meeting, but these things all do have part of the match. Yeah. 50/50
I don't
match
have
road
any
maintenance
problem
fund,
doing this.
drain fund, then their 80/20 cost share match for crack fill and seal patch.
Well, as a suggestion, perhaps you could look into that and just, at the next meeting, make a comment with regard to that. And other than that, I will make a motion that we approve the expenditure of the county, St. Clair County Road Commission cost-sharing program agreements.
Support. Okay, let's have
I
roll
think
call.
you gotta have a roll call.
Yep,
vote.
roll call vote. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Natz?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Clerk Matei, yes. Thank you. Yes, we will do that. We'll follow up and be sure we'll be utilizing all available funds. Okay, one last, but not least, here we are again.
Beating the dead horse.
What I do want to share is, as you can see, if you've read the recap on the back, who was in attendance. We discussed a lot of things that have transpired. They really are trying to make an earnest effort to get their payment here on time. At the time when all this started, there was still a lot of flux with the mail, and things weren't getting to them in 2 or 3 weeks sometimes. So things weren't getting processed in a timely manner. Since that time, they've worked out with Irene that she emails the bills to them, so they get them right away.
And she
They
is
get 'em in their
also
system.
still emailing and mailing them, which is ridiculous. I'd say one or the other. I mean, I don't know why we need to do both, because they're,
You do, if it's a money matter, that's not legal. I mean, you can tell somebody to get ahead by giving an email, but it's not legal to pay the bill until they get it in their hand.
In writing?
Yeah, but that's why the companies will send you on your email, here's your stuff for your phone bill and stuff like that, but they still send the bill.
Right.
But anyway, I would suggest that we continue that practice, but up to you.
I mean, because it does cost quite a bit because of all the papers. And I don't know. After I read this, I spoke with Irene because I thought her or I would be at one of the meetings, but we were both on vacation. And she didn't know, that they were going to do this again. She wasn't very happy about it. And it kind of made it sound like there was something on our end that was preventing them from getting their bills in a timely manner, which isn't the case. I mean,
Right.
it's strictly a
Not at
mail
all.
thing.
Not at all.
And I think it said, I don't know, again, the two agreement things, one says 10 days before, and she was getting it to them, like 30 days, so.
Well, in preparing for that meeting, and rereading a lot of this stuff, because I've been away from it for a long while, I did discover that, and it kind of goes back to, we're not sure why we bill that one particular bill through BSNA, which is governed by our ordinance, which does say 10%, and due from this date, not from date of receipt, but by the due date. However, there's nothing that we have right now that we can find in our records and our agreements to back that up. I mean, the ordinance backs the way that's
Right.
done, but why we bill it that way, we're not sure. So in reading through that agreement, it does say from the date they receive it,
Right.
they have 30 days. It's not the mail, and, it doesn't matter if they got it in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, it's due by this date. That's not how the agreement reads. It does say,
I kind of suspected that because it had to do with calculations which required them to know how much water was given, that's how they got to the water biller, because Teresa used to do that. And then they did a little math, and they used that handy software system to send out the bills. The fact that it didn't have anything to do with sewage was incidental. It just, but once it got into the system, some of these other things have been happening. And I understand you want to volunteer to take a look at redoing that agreement so that we get in there what you want. And not
well,
right.
and that was,
Yeah.
these issues, they're kind of gray areas.
Just because we use that system doesn't mean, even if we're using it for something different, doesn't mean we have to put in all the bells and whistles. I realize what's happened. Irene's seeing that this is one bill out of this one system she bills is not getting charged a late fee. It just so happens that I don't think that bill ever needed a late fee. It was just handy to use that system, and it got tied up in the whole thing, which is going on now. I don't see a reason why you can't continue to use it, but you could modify it to do anything you wanted it to do in accordance with the agreement.
Well, I think
You don't
because
have to
the
use
fact
that.
that we authorize the township manager to begin the process of updating the
Yeah.
agreements with the financial people and the attorneys, I think everything will continue
I would
status quo at this point until we
No.
revise, and then we will put these things in as we are doing them, and
Okay.
as they're actually being applied and billed, it can all be spelled out, no gray areas,
Yeah,
so we all know
That
exactly
system
what's
still can
what.
be used, you can just modify
Tweak it, yes.
that bill to
Yeah, I
specify
don't see- I
whatever.
thought the system works really good, it's
Yeah.
just that we just should not have considered it as a sewage bill and use the system to bill it any way we wanted to. The other thing you gotta remember is they're voluntarily paying that bill for the last 10 years. And
Right.
we're in a kind of a unique situation of charging them a late fee on a bill they don't have to pay.
Well, and through this discovery too, they pointed out that they have paid over $700 in late fees.
Yes, right, they have
On
paid some,
various
some
things.
of them until they got
And
really
they have
hot.
been late 3
And then
times.
and
They
then
have
got
been
moved.
fully late 3 times since that
Yeah.
time. when
I was
reviewed
asking Irene about this,
the
because
process.
I said, they're saying $700, and she says no, but, and she would know, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Between all of their billings, they said that they have paid that
They
much.
get, yeah, they
So
get,
if it
they
was
get a
based
lot of
on the
bills.
8% per annum, they would have overpaid at that
Yeah.
point anyway.
But they get a lot of
So-
bills. This is just one of the many
Yes.
bills they get
Well,
for the things that
exactly.
the DPW does for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they have an agreement with our DPW to do all their work, and we bill them for that.
Yes.
Right, right.
There's
And-
also a 10% late fee on this. I don't think you guys have been charging, but I didn't want to say anything about that because I didn't think we should be charging it at all. But that should be something I
Well-
think that should be looked at when you do this upgrade thing.
And, well, exactly, and like in the last big paragraph here on my memo, there are things that we're actually not charging them for that we could be charging and should be charging for our
Yes.
administrative time.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of time every month to
It
do this
is.
whole thing.
Yeah, and keeping all
So-
those records, sure.
These are things we want to make sure get into the new one and, everything starts.
Are we gonna be working on that soon, though, so this isn't a
Yes.
concern? That's
Yeah, like-
what I have
Yes.
my little notes that I have
Yes.
there.
Urgently.
We gave her that approval last meeting, so
Okay.
hopefully that
You
ball
know,
will
there-
get
There
rolling.
wouldn't be any reason why you guys couldn't, at least you couldn't manually charge 8% per annum, even now, just.
Well, yeah,
you're
it's in
following
the agreement.
There wasn't any on it at all, but there should have been, and there should have been a 10% admin agreement, so if you're gonna,
Mm-hmm. Right.
if we're gonna follow the obsolete agreement, we ought to follow it.
Right. Well, I
So-
did have her do that the last time this came up. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
said, just for the heck of it, redo this minus the 10%, do it the 8%, yearly.
Per annum.
Yep, and it was like 0.3 or whatever, and it came up to, at that point, like $300,
Yeah, that's a big
as
deal.
opposed to
I
the
would think-
900 and some
Well, it's easy,
dollars.
it's 24 times greater, divide the current bill by 24, and that's what they owe. If you wanna look at
Because,
it.
I mean, now we're up to like 1,100 or something.
Well, they gave me their check to bring back with me last week, so I waited till that was all posted, and then I had asked Wendy to pull this, or actually Irene to pull this for me today, so their current outstanding late fee balance is $1,023.22.
And it started off over a year ago at like 200,
It did, and it snowballed.
was their balance.
You've been charging late fees because they've been paying only what they thought they owed, and they have been ignoring the late fee, and your software doesn't accept that. You don't
Correct.
pay the whole thing, it charges 10% again.
Correct.
And then, once again.
On the balance.
Outstanding
Becoming
balance.
captive of the bloomin' software, and that's not right.
Well,
So what are we, what are
After-
you suggesting we do,
I'm
Ms. Clerk?
suggesting, what I would like to see, what I would suggest, is a goodwill gesture between the two townships, that we waive the existing late fee balance, in consideration that they have paid some of the late fees already, according to their records. And from this point forward, we move forward. And then if any instances or situations, because we pretty much ironed out all the crinkles of why they were late, and, there's really no reason unless something major happened, and then we could revisit at that point, if they were to bring something back to us,
I would
one
agree with
particular
that if we
instance.
could modify any future lateness by them, even though they've promised to be very good people, to 8% instead of 8% per annum instead of 10% per month.
I was gonna say, until the new agreement is,
Concern as to why they aren't getting these bills in a timely manner. Even though the mail was slower and everything else, I never had a problem.
yeah.
I never heard of anybody else having problems getting their bills.
I mean, they've
You
given
know?
us several excuses for, it's been the mail, it's been people turnover there, even now Irene said that Brandy calls her and says, oh, can you email that to me again? I mean, now it's been emailed, so, I'm like, what is going on here? Disorganization? I don't know.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
That'd be a good guess.
I
Yeah.
would say I agree kind of to wipe it clean at this point for goodwill and move forward with everything, and then we can kind of keep track on
right.
what's happening with the late big payments and.
Okay. Well, in that case, if I word this wrong, please correct me, but I'll make a motion that we waive the existing late fee, whatever that balance is, and
$1,023.22.
$1,023.20, and we restructure the billings until, with a 8% per annum late fee from this point on out till township manager finishes her legal review. I would like to put under-
So, I have a couple of questions, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So the part where it says in no event shall China pay to East China an amount less than $350, do they pay nothing right now for the administrative?
I'm not seeing that we're billing that on there at all,
Okay. And how often would that be?
monthly, in their monthly billings.
Well, and how much are they paying now? That was so that they, for some reason, they would pay less than that. I think all the bills are more than that now. If they are, that's the minimum.
Well,
If when she calculates
It is
how
the
much they
minimum.
owe, it's less than $350, they're supposed to get a $350.
exactly. However, there was one of the bills out of the last couple that I reviewed that was not, I looked everywhere for that and I couldn't find it. It had no minimum met, so zero was billed. So I don't know if there's some,
Well, don't she, how much does she, I thought those bills I looked at the other day were in the $800, $900 range that you guys showed me on the table, which was certainly more than $350.
maybe the ones you looked at. There was one that I saw that did not have it at all. That
Nope.
what caught my attention
Didn't
after I read that.
Did it have an
Agreement.
amount on it?
Yeah, it said, no minimum met, $350, and then it had amount due zero. What it carried through, it was
should've-
billed zero.
If they didn't meet the minimum, they
Instead
should
of
have
the
paid the
$350.
$350. That's what the original agreement was
Yeah.
for, because we thought there were some cases where that might not be true, but since that was built in '96, their volume of water that they have now get from a plant is much greater now than it was
Right.
in '56, so they shouldn't have any trouble. We shouldn't have any trouble billing them for more than $350.
Right,
But if we do, $350 would be the minimum.
right.
Another question, so, stupid question, but like, is there just one agreement that's expired, or are there multiple?
Lord.
Multiple agreements,
Oh, multiple, okay.
but the main agreement,
The one from 2012 that was expired?
yes, the
Yeah,
one that
the
expired in
original,
2012,
yeah,
from
1996.
1996.
Package of agreements that I work with on the sewer and water authority is at least that time.
There's some with the authority, there's some with China and East China, there's,
But my-
water
One
agreements,
job, get you on the authority.
it's,
I need another person.
there's a lot there.
The
You
question.
volunteering?
I'll do it. But, so the other question is, how long has it been billed? That way you might have answered that, but
The agreement was originally
It's
in
forever.
1996. It expired in 2012, and they've continued to pay on a regular basis even since the bill expired. However, probably the last year or so, they got really bad with being late and all.
You mean how, the one that they have the late fees, how long have we been billing it that way? It's been at least, I would say, 10 years, maybe 15.
And
As
we
long
have
as I can
forgiven them,
remember.
we have forgiven them their late fees in the past,
Past.
at least on 3 occasions I know of.
I guess my problem is just the snowballing of it, like why it took this long to come to it should have been like 2 months, at the latest, 2 months
Well,
after
yeah.
that.
In their defense, they were discussing it back and forth with the supervisor, so they thought they were trying to work it out
Oh.
through the supervisor. And Brian
Because
did
they-
bring it here a couple times, and then he, so
They tried to work it out with Irene and Cindy, but did not like the answer, so then they brought it to the supervisor too.
That's because there's
So,
an
yeah,
expired
it just
agreement.
ended
does
up
not
getting
agree
stretched out
with
over
the manner in which
time.
it's being
Yeah.
billed. They're
That's
paying
what
the
I said.
manner in which it's
Right
being
now, we
billed. It
just
is not.
Start over,
Not
Start
the
over
original
and
agreement.
and
Put
then
everything in place.
there should
and-
be, right, we
So
can get
there
everything
is a
in place
considerable-
straight.
Yes.
Both
Yeah.
sides know
Yep.
exactly what's
Can
expected.
they not pay the original
Yeah.
amount
me.
from like over a year and a half ago, the 200 something?
They've paid,
Well, he
What did you say,
claims
700?
over this time period, not that one particular account, but through the different late fees that they've been charged with the other billings as well, that they have paid over the 700.
But I called Irene today to verify what was in here, and she said that was not true. They have not paid over $700.
Have they paid the bill that you send out though, regardless of, without the late fees? Are we just
Yes.
arguing about the illegal late fees we've been charging them,
Well,
right?
they're,
They've already
have
been
been,
paying
yeah.
the stuff, so
They've
let's
been paying them.
wipe that out and get started anew.
And they've even been driving the checks over here every month.
Yeah,
That's
come on.
what the supervisor told me. To make sure we get them, and they've been coming in before the due date.
I'm still curious if we charge late fees on.
I would like to see on our end what the $700 was that was paid. I'd like to,
See the backup?
yeah.
All right, I'll ask them for the copies. They told me they were going to provide them to me, just for backup, and I said that'd be great, just so we have them for backup, you know, because they knew I was gonna present this to the board, what we talked about, and so I will ask them for that, and I'll share it with the board.
There's
Their
already
records.
a motion though, isn't there?
Pardon me?
There's a motion on the
There is
floor,
a
I haven't heard
motion
nobody
that-
second it yet
Yeah.
though.
I did.
Yep, there's a
Okay.
first and a second, then we'd have to roll call.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Okay. All right,
Kill this sucker.
roll call vote. Treasurer Hart,
no.
trustee Babo,
Yes.
trustee Nats,
Yes.
clerk Matei, yes. Motion carries.
You gonna ask him?
I see you forgot.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Richley, what is your vote?
No.
No. Okay, so it's 2 no, 3 yes. Motion carries.
Can I make a second motion if we have to? Because we didn't,
That's illegal.
from now until we get the new agreement in place, that we will charge them late fees and not forgive anything more at the 8% per annum?
Part of the motion.
Part of
the
The
motion was
part of the motion
restructure
was
the
8%
billings with the
fee.
8% per annum late fee until legal review complete.
Okay,
I
what
wouldn't,
he has.
I wouldn't constrain us to say that we'll never,
right, never say
We-
never, right?
yeah, if they come back in, we'll vote on whether or not.
Per basis,
Yeah,
I think it
if
may be
they
per
come back in.
situation.
I don't
yeah.
think they'll be back, but if they
But
come
they are
back,
really, they are trying. I do
I will
feel
have a
that they
different
are
opinion
trying
of
to
it.
really
Clean up.
get it together and get, you know, let's be a good partner, you know? So, okay. Let
You
me
know,
see what
I
else.
just, I'm glad it got down this way, but I really wish I could explain to the board the difference between what it is. The board seemed to have the opinion that what they were being billed for was a sewage charge. And that's not true, because the only people that can bill China or East China for sewage charges is the Sewer and Water Authority. If we just happen to be using this East China's sewer software to to process this particular bill, which is used, they're paying a portion of the operating costs, phone, repairs, electrical bill for 2 of our pump stations. And they agreed to do that. It doesn't have anything to do with processing sewage.
Well,
You know,
the way it is the
Yeah.
way it's
It-
been, and
well,
it's
it
not,
doesn't make, yeah.
we can't call it. It's just been in
being
place
used,
for a
they're
very
using
long
that
time.
software.
We're
I'm
not gonna
almost-
change it
I'm almost
overnight.
I'm almost willing to start saying, okay, we gotta take that bill out and process it separately, the same way you do with the DPW bills.
Well, there must be a reason, a valid
Well, I
reason.
know there's a reason, it's because
So-
we use the water flow to East China as a means of calculating that cost.
I know.
And it's very much easy to use that system to do it. We don't have to do all the other stuff too, we just use the system, you get a bill. That's how you get the number of how much to charge them. Because you use, that system calculates it. When Teresa and now Irene puts proper numbers in, it pops up what the bill is.
Right?
But it doesn't have to have anything to do with sewage. Never mind, I quit.
Thank you, because we don't want to argue that again at the board meeting. Okay, does anyone have any comments? Go ahead.
So a couple of things. I had a question about, so under new business 3, it's something that kind of jogged my memory a little bit. I was gonna take a drive down there, but I didn't have time, but Bryson Lane, did that get paved, that part that we voted to get paved, did that get paved or no?
Yes,
Oh,
that
oh.
approach,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
coming off
Yeah.
my
Oh, is
street,
it?
they
Oh,
did
just-
get that done
Yeah,
last
that
fall.
did.
Okay,
Just
Right at
approve,
the end of the
just
season.
approve.
And they
Okay.
did kind of fix the holes that guy had called us about,
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
a temporary fix. I
Yeah.
guess.
and
As
one
best
other
as they
thing
could.
was, I was kind of behind on reading those magazines we get, the township, whatever it's called from the MTA.
MTA.
And something that they brought up that I thought was a good idea, we were talking about whether or not we're gonna talk about how we're gonna spend
ARPA funds?
yeah, and I think, one of the ideas was to put out like a survey, not that we get a lot of input from people, but I mean, just putting something on the website or something and seeing if we get any responses from people.
Asking for feedback?
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea, but we don't send out a newsletter anymore, do we?
You know, I haven't gotten one in a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know
Okay.
that we do.
okay.
Yeah, they used to go out quarterly, but I don't know who was doing that.
I think it came on the back
Till
of
2018.
the water,
It was twice a year.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think it came on the back of the water thing,
Doesn't our,
the water quality report.
but we have, somebody, we've been keeping up the website, that sort of
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
even much more informative.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
good.
more timely
Yeah,
than the newsletter.
And actually, that was one of the main, in reading the supervisor, all those questions, a few of them emphasized improving our website,
Yes.
our web presence,
yeah.
in the information to the residents. That, so anyway, that was just one thing.
that's all
Do
I
you have
got.
anything else?
That's all I
Okay.
got.
Mr. Nats?
No.
No? Nicole?
Nothing.
Okay, I just have one thing. We did send that letter that I gave you guys a copy last time, and it does say legislature passes measure to hold locals harmless from required revenue sharing adjustments. So whether the letter's helped or not, I don't know, but it's passing, so, it says the local units may receive their payment with multiple lines to reflect any negative adjustment, but would be offset by the hold harmless funding line. So hopefully the governor has signed it already. We can get back to normal. Good morning.
Yeah,
So.
and we don't have to give anything back.
Exactly. That's all I have. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
8:03. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.